Hi there, I'm social meteorologist Bob Clubs, and I have here with me,
Lily.
this is Lily, and we are
Oh,
making
clubs.
this video for people to use in classrooms if you want to talk about weather. And like I said, my name is Bob Clubs, and you may know me as the guy that does weather on Facebook. I'm called a social meteorologist. But the thing about it is I'm not a real weather guy like on TV. They have so many cool tools and gadgets and screens and computers and all kinds of things that they can use. But I just have some things that you can use at home
I'm
when you
writing
want to
notes
know
down
about the weather.
so
Lily's taking some
to
notes
tell you
here.
what I want to say.
Okay. So what I'd like to do today is show you a couple of things that you can use on your computer in your classroom or at home when you want to know about the weather.
Meteorologist clubs.
That's
How's
right.
the weather?
Well, right now, let's take a look at how the weather is right now. This is a weather site that I like called Weather Underground. And you can go there, and this is their map that you can bring up. This is a look at their radar right now, and you can see it has highlighted here where I live in Jackson. And there's not a lot going on, but I know that later tonight there are going to be thunderstorms. How do you feel about thunderstorms, Lily?
I am gonna come into your room tonight
She probably comes into my
because
room.
I don't like whenever the storms are
She
happening.
doesn't like it. And
Only whenever it's quiet I can fall asleep.
yeah.
Whenever I hear a noise I can't fall
So
asleep.
you might be somebody like Lily that doesn't like thunderstorms very much. And you may be saying, how do you know there's going to be thunderstorms? There are no storms anywhere on this radar. Well, if you back it up a little bit, you can see that some thunderstorms are starting to form over here in the western part of Missouri.
Will it
And
rain?
we knew that this was going to happen on the weather forecast.
But will it rain?
It will rain. One of the ways that we know that things are going to happen is we look at what is called fronts. So let's take a look at that. We can bring up the fronts on this map, and you've probably seen some of these before on weather maps that you may see on TV, and you may wonder, what do those lines and letters mean? Well, let's talk about the letters first.
What's your middle name?
On weather maps, you can see usually L's and H's, and those stand for high pressure systems and low pressure systems. And when you have a high pressure system, that means that higher air pressure is in charge of the weather.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whenever like if there's something cold and like hot air is going, it will like just get stuck onto the cold stuff.
Well, we'll talk about
If
that
there's like ice
because
and then
hot
you have
air,
hot water, then it will just get stuck and then it will start to get to water and
she's
then it
in
will rain.
first grade. So let's talk about high pressure systems. High pressure systems and low pressure systems make air move in different directions, and they make different types of weather. In a high pressure system, air is going to circulate around the high pressure system in a clockwise direction on our map. It's going to spin the air this way. And like you can see here where this high pressure system is in control out here in Nevada and California, there is not a lot of rain in that area because high pressure systems usually keep our weather very calm and very dry. It's low pressure systems that really cause weather to happen. And as you can see, we've got some low pressure systems in
How
play
will
here.
mosquito be?
We'll take a look at that in a second. Low pressure systems cause more weather to happen. Low pressure systems spin the air the other way on the map. They go counterclockwise on the map.
We should tell Henry because he might be scared of storms.
I will. And as you can see, they cause storms up here in the north where we have colder air in place. They are getting lots of snow. They're actually getting a blizzard.
When will we
here.
get a tornado?
We are not getting a tornado.
But when will we probably?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Then the lines on the weather map and what they mean. The blue lines are what is called a cold front, and what that means is that the air that is coming in behind is colder than the air that's in front. So for example, right now here in Missouri where we are, we have some warmer air in place. Right now outside, if we look at the temperatures, which is another thing that we can do on this map, we can see what the temperature is in some different places. And so here in Missouri right now, all around Missouri, we have temperatures in the 60s. Over here in Oklahoma, they're in the 70s. So all of the warm air is in here. And then just like we said, here behind this low pressure system, remember I said this low pressure system is pulling air around behind it counterclockwise. So it's pulling down all of this cold air. That's why this snowstorm is actually shaped this way, because this colder air is getting
Who are we
pulled down
missing
around this way.
that is in our family?
And look at that. All this cold air is building up and it's actually moving in this direction. And that's where you have the cold front. The little arrows or the little triangles on the cold front indicate the direction that the front is moving. So this lets you know colder air is moving this way. And so as this front moves closer, it's going to push these storms across Missouri, and that's how I know we're going to have thunderstorms tonight. Up here, we have what's called a stationary front. You might notice that it has some red circles.
Right back. I'm going to go tell some people about
Okay. And some blue triangles. And you notice that they're pointing in both directions. That lets you know that right along here, you've got cold air and warm air that are kind of fighting it out. It's like they're having tug of war, or they're pushing on each other, and things have kind of stopped moving right there. And so that's called a stationary front. The last kind of front is called a warm front, and that lets you know that the air that's coming around behind that front is actually warmer. So what we've got going on here is warm air is pushing against this cold air, and the warm air is actually winning out. And if we look at our systems, we can see why that is. We've got this low pressure that's spinning the air again. Remember, low pressure spins it around counterclockwise, so it's pulling this warm air from down here in California. It's pulling it up across the mountains, and it's winning out here. And so that's why you've got a warm front. So again, we got low pressure. Low pressure spins counterclockwise around. High pressure spins clockwise around. I'm going to show you another thing that really lets you see how that is. Here's some things that I want you to remember, Lily, okay?
Okay.
I want you to remember this placement of this low pressure system. And remember that we talked about air going around counterclockwise and making all of this snow. Okay? And I want you to remember these lines.
Will we get any of the snow?
No, we will not. We like snow, don't we? And remember these lines. These are called cold
that's
front.
a bad thing, though, because
Listen.
then we'll take it.
Listen. Now we're going to look at something that's called the null earth. Look at that. These lines show the movement of the air. And remember, we talked about the low pressure system. Look at how it is right here on this map. You see that? Here is the low pressure system, and just like I said, it is pulling this air around it. It's pulling this cold air down from the north and around, counterclockwise around. Look how it's also pulling up this warm air. This is where we've got our moisture coming in. Anybody ever been to the beach? Anybody ever been down to the Gulf of Mexico? Maybe you've been to Florida, Gulf Shores, Alabama, Texas. Anywhere that you've been down on the beach here, I bet you remember that the temperature is probably warmer and the air feels moist, and they get a lot of rain down there too. So this is showing you that that moist, warm air is getting pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico, and it's getting pulled up by that low pressure system. Look at how you can almost see those fronts right here on this map. Again, this is called null earth. You can search for that on Google and it'll bring you right here to it. You can see where those two systems come together. This warmer air is coming here, this cooler air is coming here, and it's causing this frontal system right here. That's that cold front. And you can see that stationary front that we talked about also right here. So that's a way that you can really visualize what's going on here on the weather map. I don't. And so how you can see those things happen. This is so much fun because you can look anywhere you want to look on the whole earth. If we zoom out, you can look and you can really see how weather is impacted by all different systems all around the earth. And if you look at it, you can really see where those different pressure systems are. Here is the low pressure system that we talked about earlier. Notice that it is spinning the air around counterclockwise. Let's look at some other systems here. See, can you show me, Lily, where you think another pressure system is? Where is the air spinning? Can you show me?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Can you point to it?
Right there.
All right, Lily's pointing to this one. Now this is pulling air counterclockwise around,
Because
just
I see
like
it
this one.
swirling.
So is that a low pressure or a high pressure?
Hmm.
That is a low pressure.
I was
'cause it's
gonna say
spinning
low
counterclockwise around. All
I was gonna
right,
say low
fantastic.
pressure. Look at my hand. I made a hand.
That's right. So those are two weather tools that you can use. You can use Weather Underground and you can use Null Earth. And those are two things that everybody can use on their computer when they want to find out what the weather is going to be about. So this is Lily, and I'm social meteorologist Bob Clubs. If you ever want to know
We
what the
watch
weather is
the
going to
weather
be
so
about,
you don't have to.
we'll be watching the weather so you don't have to.